What's going on, friends? It's Anton Daniels, and I got to have a conversation with you guys about Teach Henley because you see how the sun is hitting me? This is no finesse, no makeup, no filters, no none of that. This is 100% Teach Henley. I use it in the morning as soon as I get up, right after I pray and brush my teeth, jump in the shower, and I'm hitting the streets because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. So even though they're giving you 40% off your first order, 20% off for life, even though you may get a free gift, forget all that, right? Because we would do this even if it was full price because it's worth that much. I'm in the streets, I'm kicking it with people when I see Dusties everywhere. You don't want to be them. You want to separate yourself. And the way that you separate yourself is self-care. Ladies get it for the fellas. Fellas don't wait for the ladies to get it for you. I'm about to hit the streets right now and I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling great. I mean, I already got confidence, but to have that extra boost of confidence, knowing that you've taken care of yourself and you set yourself apart from all of the rest of the sheep that's walking around making bad decisions on a daily basis. And it's reflected in their actions. It's reflected in the products that they use. It's reflected in the people that they follow. And so if you're trying to level up, if you're trying to make sure that you look good, they're going to send you the pack. They're going to give you all of the instructions on how you're supposed to use it. Then make sure you get your Teach Henley. Again, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Get your free gift. Make sure you tap in with your boy Anton Daniels because Unc is never going to lead you wrong. I would never have you use a product that I don't use myself. Again, they've been rocking with me for a long time. Make sure you get your Teach Henley. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's up, friends and family? How do y'all feel today? Saturday, January 17th, 2025. 2026 year of our Lord. Enos Luby, let me see what y'all talking about today. Hit the like button. Good morning. What up, Trill Mercy? What up, Naomi Brown? What's up, baby girl? Lord B. Golfin, Williams Account Tax, Purple Haze, Eric Harris. What up, Snow Bunny Bag Chaser? Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. What up to the chat in the Bag Chaser, says Purple Haze. What up, Purple Haze? Johnny says, I see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Facts. Regardless who you beefing with, I was there. Don't do me like that. Says Digital Blockchain Currency. I thought you was flipping. I don't know what's going on. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. The link to the Patreon is in the description. I'm looking at the cars backed up on the freeway, and they are all basically going to the auto show. They all going to the auto show. Looking at the cars backed up on the freeway going to the auto show. See if y'all can see this. You see the cars lined up on the freeway? Y'all see them? All these cars going all the way back and lined up to the freeway. They're going to the auto show. All of those people are lined up, backed up on the freeway, looking to go to the North American International Auto Show. I know the charity preview was last night. It was a lot of people that was out in the black ties and all of that type of stuff. So shout out to them. Shout out to them. What up, what up, what up, what up? You're here for the right reasons. Take your super chats. Take off your super chats. Money doesn't buy you true heart. Block party. Timing people out. What? These people is a mess, man. I'm telling you. They're absolutely a mess. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. I I don't mind going to the Masters. What's up, OG Rihanna? What's up? I have never been to the Masters before. I've never been to the Masters before. So, yeah, man. Good times, good energy. All of that. All of that. I've been seeing this guy Fresh Juan Saturday, so I'm not dealing with the same things that I would deal with normally. Looking gorgeous. AD, what up though? Detroit in the building, what up though? Yeah. You ain't been to the auto show since the couple holidays? What? Charles Cash says, I'm your hero. Listen. This is what people don't understand. But I'm going to school y'all today. All right? I'm going to school y'all. Don't do what Gus said really isn't that great. Okay. I'm going to school y'all. This is what people in the thugs. I was listening to a podcast of somebody, and they basically embrace street culture. They like to call it hip hop and rap. It's not. It's just street culture. It's just street culture. And so one of the things that they were saying was what make you real in the streets, all of this stuff. And they tried to put an intellectual spin on it. But let me tell you what the truth is. All right. And then we're going to jump right into the show. We, as civilians, as intellectuals, as people that have built businesses, as people that are educated, as people that are good at and great at what we do, as people that actually believe in God, we don't play by the same rules as the streets no more. People keep trying to hold the saints, the intellectuals, the educated, the conservative. They keep the people that take care of their children, that are present in their lives, that don't embrace dealing drugs in the community and don't embrace jail culture. They keep trying to put their standards on us. You can't, we don't live by the same code and the same standards as people that proclaim themselves to be from the streets. The same way that they look at us and they say, well, you know what, y'all goofy or whatever, so on and so forth, right? We look at them and it's actually more of us, law-abiding citizens and civilians. There's more of us than there is of them. They just allowed us in the room because traditionally media focused on the degenerate culture, right? They focused on and they gave credence to people that were degenerate. So because they were on the news getting arrested, or they are the ones that's in prison all the time, or they are the ones with the microphone spitting a hot 16, and then we supposed to follow them because they can spit bars. For some reason, they believe that we're supposed to abide by the same rules as them. So when they look at the lens by which they evaluate the confrontation, they can't understand why people will say, well, you know, that makes sense what he did. That makes sense what he did. That makes sense what he did. They don't understand Judge Joe Brown's breakdown. Dana, the real Dana girl, was so confused because she don't understand that we don't move the same way or look at it from the same lenses as they do. We don't have the same rules that y'all have. We look at y'all as the goofies. We look at y'all as degenerates. That's why I call y'all Neanderthals, because even though you may have an intelligent take, your life, right? The fruit that you bear is not a reflection of the thing that's best for the community. So just because you say you hate Trump, don't mean that I have to abide by the same rules as you. Just because you believe that there's a system set up against you does not mean that my life proved otherwise, that my father's life proved otherwise, that my entire family, entire generations of people that are educated, smart, they proved otherwise, that you don't have to be a jailbird, that the police won't shoot you as soon as you walk out in the street. And we can be for America because this is our country and this is where we were born and raised. and we can advocate for the thing that's best for us, and we subject ourselves to the idea that you embrace people based off of character. So when they try to put you in a box and say, oh man, he said he wasn't black first, I don't give a fuck. That people think that we are supposed to care about what they think and that what their standards are matter to us. But we're more successful than them. We have more money, we have more resources, we're more impactful. We actually show up at the polls and vote. We determine what happens inside of our community as far as the millages. We determine what happens as far as where the money goes in our communities. We control who gets voted in the office because we're educated, we're smart, we're engaged, and we actually do something. So while they sitting up here talking about gang culture and rap culture, we don't give a fuck. We just truly don't care. We don't care. We don't care. Because even if you look at the word, they couldn't understand why I said Christian. Now, let me break that down for a second, right? One of the reasons why I say Christian, because really I like to say saints, but that flies way over their head because I'd have to explain to them that that means that you have to be studied, that you have to abide by all of the word of God, and you can't pick and choose, and that you actually believe in Jesus because the Comforter is now available to the Jew and the Gentile alike. So to be well studied in things that you then live by, and then if I say, well, I shed that old skin, that mentality, the thing that we were born into, right? All of that negativity, and I say, my life is a reflection of the obedience that comes along with how I view God or how I view Jesus. And I say that is who I am first. I am a saint first, right? I'm a saint first. Then they can't understand that because they think that you are supposed to abide by something that you can't control, which is what you were born as, a construct that was given to you. But it's not based off of your belief, it's based off of how they're supposed to slot you. So they're trying to control you and put you in a box and tell you that you have to be this first or else. And then I say, I don't have to be anything that you told me to be because first of all, I don't remember you ever being my father. Secondly, I don't remember you ever paying my bills. And third, I don't remember you ever giving me any opportunity. I'm self-made. So now I completely turn the whole thing on its head and I say, now listen, let me show you why the culture is supposed to be different. Now, because they have rules that they have to abide by that was given to them by other people, they join gangs from people that created it for them that's not even best for the community. They abide by street culture and rules that was created for them. As much as they try to be the bosses and the people that speak, even the ones that think that they're intelligent, their entire life is a construct. They've never thought for themselves. The rules that they abide by and the life that they live is based off of something that was given to them. Every single thought that they have was never an original thought. It's all based off of what somebody else told them to do. These are the people that we have been following for years and for decades, and why we've never had any real conversations on what the culture is supposed to be. So now, when you realize that even the thing that people follow and the sheep that blindly follow and lead right into destruction, because let me tell you what the truth is. And I'm going to be very candid. These people, the most degenerate amongst us, they are going to bust hell wide open. My purpose is completely different. And I'm never, ever going to subject myself to fit in. I've never been a fit in type of dude. I'm a stand out type of person. When I walk in the room, I'm going to leave being the topic of the conversation. I'm never interested in subjecting myself to the groupthink mentality of a bunch of people that I don't agree with just to fit in. I think that people really need to stand up for themselves. Stand up and learn to think for yourself. You do not, and you are not your neighborhood. You are not. I see people claiming neighborhoods. Do you even know who named your street? Do you know who gave your neighborhood its name? Do you even know where that environment came from? People are claiming gangs based off of streets that were named by people that they don't even know. Is that not crazy? That is insane. It is insane to think that these are people that y'all listen to and y'all really think that they deep. They ain't said nothing. Not one word. That is a mind-blowing epiphany that would then say, you know what? Wow. My life is going to be different because I truly do think that this is the way that I'm going to need to go and live my life and then transform my family from. It's crazy. It is insane. And so this is what it's come to. This is what it's come to. Do you want to follow a group of group thinkers that have been given talking points, given streets that they're supposed to rep, and put on the colors and the threads that somebody else created for them and hasn't had an original thought since their birth? And they're abiding by jail culture, street culture, and they think that you're supposed to play by the same rules that they are? Or can you at the very least think for yourself and come up to your own conclusions, not based off of group think, but unlearning all of the bullshit that they try to tell you, and then start to come up with your own thoughts, your own epiphanies, your own analogies based off of what God is telling you to do? This is what we're supposed to be doing. Picking and choosing different things that make sense for us depending on where we are in life and our circumstances. Not abiding by what somebody told you to do just because that's what you were supposed to do. You know what? I agree with Anton on this one, but this thing don't necessarily work for my marriage. But this thing worked for me from a business perspective. And I also agree with this because I like conservative culture. I like being a conservative, but I don't agree with everything that the Republicans say because this thing I like, but this thing I don't like. But I do agree with this right here. And this part is what's best for my family because this is the field that I'm studying because I want to be an engineer or I want to be a doctor. So I'll understand healthcare a little bit differently. So I'm going to pick and choose this right here. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to take that and I'm going to take this and I'm going to take that. You're not supposed to be all of anything. No Republican is supposed to believe exactly the same as all the rest of the Republicans. But you look at the construct of what was created and you pick and choose what you want from it. And everything is a la carte. Right? You ever been to dinner and they do a 12-course meal or they do a whatever course meal? Do you like every single thing that's on the table? No. She may not like croutons. He may not like pecans. He may be allergic to nuts. You don't eat the whole meal and say, oh man, I like every single thing that they've served me. No. You eat what you like and then you set aside what you don't. But even in Black culture, we're all supposed to just go with whatever it is that the degenerates go in, and so do the intellectuals. And intellectuals are supposed to abide by the same code as the degenerates. It's like, no, I got a menu. I want a starter, right? I want a main course. I want something to drink. We don't drink the same. We don't have the same starter. We don't have the same main course. And then I might not even want dessert, but you may want coffee. I may want ice cream. But we all got to eat. So the war is based off of principalities. The war is based off of morals and standards. But you're going to have to divest yourself and thinking that you have to abide. Y'all ain't never had a father in your life? Your father ain't never told you to stand up as a man and be your own man, think for yourself. You don't have to do what they do. Stop following everybody else in school. Are we still in high school? Are we in high school? There's plenty of people. Eric D., your car, Trill Mercy, show enough. It's plenty of people that show up here every day, and some of them agree with me on some subjects, and others be like, Anton, you crazy. I don't agree with you on that. But you know what we do? We're all focused on one thing. And you know what that one thing is? To be better today than I was yesterday so that we can leave this earth in a better space had we not been here and impact our community in a positive way while at the same time getting that money, getting that bag, and enjoying ourselves while we're doing it. That is the one goal. Now, how we get there, we got to figure that out together. And I'm going to throw some stuff out there and I'm going to make sense, and I'm going to throw some stuff out there. You'll be like, I don't know. I'm going to take a side street on that one. And then you may come back and say, you know what? I like that path a little bit better. Or you may say, Anton, you need to look at this a little bit differently. I don't want a bunch of yes men around me. I want people around me that can add value into my life. No? That don't make more sense? Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats and cash apps, and then we're going to get there, y'all. We're going to get there. One day at a time, one live stream at a time, one meetup at a time, one Patreon member at a time. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Teach Henley, 40% off your first order, 20% off for life. Shout out to Mike, that dude on Cash App. I appreciate you. Shout out to TS Car Wash and Detail Services. Thoughts on Javante Davis's warrant? Not familiar. Don't even know. I don't know if he got a warrant. Thoughts on Ludacris dropping out the country MAGA concert? Not familiar. Don't know anything about it. Mora says, would you do a part 2 with Corey Holcomb? Y'all broke the net. I don't know. Sometimes the original is good enough. Sometimes a sequel messes everything up. You ever went to the movies and you seen them do the sequel and they did a part 2 because part 1 was so great and part 1 made a bunch of money, and then part 2 don't meet the same expectations? Sometimes you just gotta let history stand where history stand. If it don't make sense, it genuinely have to make sense. It would have to make sense. You know? Yeah, like How High 2, Coming to America 2. Some sequels make sense, others don't. I would have to read the script. You know, thoughts on Joe Budden speak on you and the Corey Holcomb situation. You sent it to my email. All right, let me see what's going on in the email. When did you send it to my email? I see the academics one. When did y'all send it to my email? Thank you, Samuel Silver. I don't see it. You would have to send it to my email. Yeah, y'all would have to send it to my email. I would have to check it out. He said, Trill, shout out to Trill, man. I actually like Trill, man. Trill is a real cool dude. He was on the panel the other night. He said, I disagreed with AD on his lock take. I sat on it and decided to cop my locks yesterday. Did you really? Wow. Shout out to Trill, man. Shout out to Trill. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody said, do I have a cold? No, I've just been talking a lot. Honestly, I've just been talking a lot. You know, I've been on tour. Oh, I'm going back on tour. So I'm going to spend a week here, and then I'm back out in the streets. But you know what I'm going to do? Because I've been telling y'all where I'm going to go. And I don't think that that's best for me. I don't think it's wise for me to tell y'all where I'm going to go and when I'm going to go. I don't think it's wise for me to tell y'all where I'm going to go and what I'm going to do. So I think I'm doing 4 shows. 4 shows, not this week, but the week after. And then, yeah, man. fresh Jan says, Aton, don't ever time me out like that again. Well, stop talking in all caps. And sometimes I got to teach y'all a lesson. I'm not going to block you. Sometimes I got to teach you a lesson. All right? So get your life together and act like you know have some sense when you're talking to me. All right? Get your life together and act like you got some sense. All right? Yeah, I'm not going to say where I'm going to go. I'm going to tell y'all after I already been there. Yeah, send that to me again, TS Car Wash and Detail Service. I'll check it out. Anton, any thoughts on a black guy in Minneapolis saying that ICE tear gas his kids while putting them in the car for school? Send it to my email. I don't think I've seen that one. Them hats dropped today. No, we doing pre-sales, and I'm going to tell y'all when the link is going to come up, all right? Jabriel says, what color is your shirt? What color is your skin? It is the color of, it's different shades of gray. Salute. You motivations from a fellow. You a G, King. Shout out to CW. My skin is melanated. My shirt is black. How about that? Give that ASAP and Wiz album a listen. You know, I never steer you wrong when it comes to the music. All right, I'm going to check it out. D-Mav says, I love seeing the all-black Americans in this chat that are independent thinkers. Maybe there is some hope for the future. We got to do it for our kids. Yo, it's Eric TV says, good morning, AD. God bless you, my favorite show. 781 Shad Took says, shout out to you, AD. You're the rich big cuz. I like that. Don says, you're a real one, AD. I've been listening to you for years, but much respect and big salute, big dog. I won't say his name, but do need to be outclassed. Real men stand on principles. Hey, I like that hookup you got on too, big dog. You looking dapper. JVB says they're all forms of diversity except for thought. Tell me about it, bro. Thought on that reaction. I don't have any thoughts on it. Clout, off of clout. Eric TV says, tell the bag chasers. Shout out to you, Eric TV. All right, y'all. Y'all ready to get started with the show? Show Enough says, one day you people are going to learn to stop talking shit to this man. Talk to him, big dog. Did I see what Dreka Gates divorce demands are from Kevin Gates? Send it to me. Listen, man. Listen. If y'all don't send it to me, I am sometimes not going to be familiar with it. I don't. I sit with something pretty up under me and I be trying to chill and have a good time and enjoy life. I don't be checking for it unless I got to talk about it. Reed R. Hardy says, I'm glad you just said that because I feel like No Jumper would try some BS, whatever podcast type ish. They might invite Corey there the same day they book you, but not tell you. Messy. What's up, K. Marie? I got my friends on to you and they love it. Shout out to you, Lonnie Clark. I love you too, big dog. I love you too. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get started with the show. Where are we going to start at? I think we should start at with something a little bit different. I want to switch it up on a Saturday. You know, Saturdays is really off the cuff. Matter of fact, let's do this. I'm gonna read the cash apps and super chats. I see y'all cash app. Shout out to y'all. I'm gonna let y'all determine what y'all want me to cover. I'm taking suggestions. You just sent this. Okay, so let's go to divorce settlement. I am gonna have to cover some stuff that I have in the title. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to change the title. But let me see. Dreka Gates divorce. Do they have the actual court documents? I want to see the court documents. This is old. This is an old story, though. I want me to talk about this? This looks like it's an old story. This is from 2025. This is from 2025. Y'all want me to talk about this? I don't see nothing to talk about here. This is old. Seeks joint custody, significant child support over $27,000 and spousal support over $46,000 a month. That's over $70,000 a month. Alleging that Kevin dismantled their finances while continuous lavish spending, creating financial distress, and even threatening their Mississippi farm with foreclosure due to tax liens, all amidst public disputes about their marriage validity. Yeah, they were saying that this is that. Yeah, this is old. What else y'all want me to address? Give me something. I'm trying to let y'all control what's going on inside of the show. Y'all got to give me something to address. Otherwise, I'm just gonna go with whatever it is that I started talking about in the first place. Y'all got to give me something meaningful. Give me something to break down. Give me something of substance. Did I get the Joe Budden email? I don't think that Joe Budden likes for people to review his stuff. You know what I'm saying? So Nick Shirley's new video. All right, let's go with Nick Shirley. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna let y'all pick a subject, then I'm gonna pick a subject. Y'all pick a subject, I pick a subject. All right. Nick Shirley. Let's go with Nick Shirley. What was this, 2 days ago? This dude got 1.14 million views in less than 2 days. That is insane. See, let me say this before we even get to it. All right. Do y'all see what's going on here? Listen. Y'all not listening. Y'all not looking at the thing. Look, the subject, the title, all of this stuff is cool, but I'm looking at something completely different from what y'all looking at. And maybe it's because I'm a bag chaser. All right. Maybe it's because I'm a bag chaser. I appreciate the love and the stimmy pack that we gave the internet and that we was trending on Twitter. We was trending on Twitter. But Nick Shirley got 1.4 million views in 2 days. $1.4 million views in 2 days. When I approach life, I am not studying the culture. I am studying everybody. I want to know who's doing what, how they're doing it successfully, and why they are so successful. This is why I don't just look at the stuff that we think is culturally appropriate. I'm looking at everybody and I'm like, man, you know why? Because CNN and Fox News and all of them, they're covering Nick Shirley. I'll get to that later, but this is what y'all wanted me to talk about, so this is what we'll get into.
No. You don't ask me nothing. 2.2. Never heard of it?
They know we're shining the light.
This prompted instant change within the government as the Fed sent thousands of federal agents to Minnesota, and the HHS froze over $185 million in all payments to childcare. And while politicians like Tim Walz call people like me white supremacists and far-right delusional conspiracy theorists for exposing the fraud, meanwhile, he actually dropped out of running for re-election. The Minnesota fraud scandal has erupted the nation as protests and riots took place, all starting because daycares like Quality Learning Center were exposed. However, the daycares is only a small portion of the fraud taking place in Minnesota. In this video, I will take you into what has continued to allow this fraud to happen and connect all of the dots for you, exposing all of the fraud from strange connections of the business owners and the politicians who have openly admitted to the fraud on live TV. And to dive deep into the fraud, I met back up with the local David, who has been investigating this widespread fraud scandal for years. So here in Minnesota, you have daycare.
Dog, Nick Shirley is doing what CNN is supposed to do. Start with the timestamp 4615. What's up, V. Nicole? I'm going to read that shortly. You know why CNN and MS Now and places like that are mad at Nick Shirley? Because Nick Shirley is basically showing you why those networks shouldn't even be in existence, because they're not really doing true journalism anymore. They're not doing true journalism anymore. Nick Shirley is doing the work that they used to spend millions and millions, and if not millions, billions of dollars getting anchors, big cameras, all of that. And he just in the streets, booked a hotel room, pulled up in Minneapolis, hit the streets, went to their the local whatever in order for them to do a Freedom of Information Act, pulling the records, and he out there in the streets running it up. Running it up, taking care of business, getting that bag too.
Care fraud, you have adult daycare fraud, you have healthcare fraud, and you even have more fraud. What's some of the fraud that's
Dollars versus my 100,000 cash.
They're all silent. What do you think about the fraud here?
Hey, the fraud here in Minnesota, I ain't gonna lie, is crazy. Like, what do you mean specifically? What do you mean?
Yeah, how do you feel about this daycare, for instance, receiving $1.9 million? And they couldn't even spell learning right. They spelled leering.
Hey, man, Somalis, they're an interesting creature. I'm not gonna lie, I can't say too much. I'm already too hot, but
I'm already too hot, but I'm on camera.
I mean, Tim Walz, you gotta solve this stuff. Minnesota really cracked.
Has gone. Well, it's been well tracked that a lot of the money, millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, has been funneled through TSA at the airport inside of Minnesota. It's been well tracked and documented. Even in 2017, there was reports coming from the local Fox News station, and I was actually able to meet up with a whistleblower who used to work as an agent at TSA on the side of narcotics, and he saw millions of dollars go through TSA. And what kind of fraud did you see take place here in Minnesota?
So I worked for the airport police for 31 years. 24 of those years I worked in narcotics at MSP Airport. And my recollection was from about 2015-16 to 2021 when I retired. I would get emails from our dispatch saying like two male Somali descent individuals. They would give us their names. They claimed the cash, that they had a large amount of cash at the checkpoints. We'd get all this information in an email, and I believe they would send it right away. So TSA would contact our dispatch telling us this. Then our dispatch would relay the info via email to us.
And how much was the money?
The money, the smallest amount in a suitcase that I heard was like $750,000.
These people been running up a bag for a long time, bro. A long time. And you know what they did? You know what they did? Do you know how they were able to do this for so long, for all of this time? Because they've been under temporary protective status and migrating over here to Minneapolis since over 30 years ago. They've been under temporary protective status since the 90s. You know how they was able to do it? Being quiet. Being quiet. All they did differently than most other people, and this is the real conversation about wealth being silent, all they did differently than other people was try to draw the least amount of attention to themselves. That's it. That's the difference. That is the difference between success and failure, is that when you are committing fraud and when you are doing something that you're not supposed to do, they stayed low, they stayed under the radar, and they didn't draw any attention to themselves. That's why, let me tell you something. I talked to a guy. I think I might have told y'all about him because he actually grew up with me. I talked to a guy that's Somali, and I was asking him about his culture. I might be able to bring him on a show. I don't think he want to show himself like that right now because it's kind of hot. But I talked to a guy that's Somali, and I asked him. I said, "Man, what do you think about all of these protests that's happening over in Minneapolis? And they got all of these white people over there and stuff like that. And we got these liberal apologists and everything like that, right?" I said, what do your people think about these people? He said they hate them people. He said they hate those people. I said, why? He said, Anton, do you realize, have you seen any Somalis protesting at all? All of the people that think that they doing something, that think that they in the mix, those people hate y'all. You know why? Because you bring in even more heat and you messing up the money. And basically what you're doing is driving more and more and more and more agents. All right. Let's say that you don't necessarily like Trump. Let's say you don't agree with him, right? Let's say that you absolutely hate him. The one thing that we know about Trump is that Trump is not the type of person where you protest against him and he says, you know what? These people are protesting, and so I'm going to go ahead and move out the way. When you protest against him as a liberal, Trump thinks to himself, and this is my assumption, right? I haven't talked to him about this and none of that. I would imagine, based off of his actions, that Trump be like, you know what? I must be doing something right. I must be doing something right. Because these people are angry. And he said, man, they hate them people out there. I said, why they hate the white people out there? Why they hate the liberal whites and the protesters? He said, man, because they basically making the spot hot. They're blowing up the spot. They said they don't want Nick Shirley out there. He said, we emailing Nick Shirley under aliases, other stuff that people are doing in other communities throughout the country, so he'll go somewhere else. I promise you, this is what he said. He said, bro, we don't want Nick Shirley We don't want no more ICE. We don't want no more coverage. We don't want people flying here. And we certainly, and he said all of this is because these people is out here terrorizing, tearing up, and vandalizing ICE cars and stuff. He said, and the more they out here, the longer they here, the more agents that they sending in here. He said, we not at the malls. He said, they're not even showing, bro, they said that the malls is so empty. It used to be bustling. It used to be popping. He said the malls are empty. Stores empty. People ain't sending their kids to school. They keeping it moving. They like, you know what? We gonna chill out for a while, and we gonna slow motion. So in a sense, in a way, they always have the opposite effect of the thing that they think that they're gonna do. 700 thou wow, bro. I can't go through the airport. You know what they told me? Because I like to carry a decent amount of money when I'm going to Vegas and stuff like that, depending on if it's the weekend, because the bank ain't open and I want to be able to spend some money, right? They told me that anything over 10,000, I think it's 10,000 that I have to declare it. That I don't lose it, but I have to say that I got it. So I'm gonna bring $9,998. Because I don't want to have to declare nothing. Because then I'm at their disposal. Then they can ask me questions. Hey, where did you get it from? What do you do for a living? All of that type of stuff. They told me that anything over $10,000, I have to declare it. And I have to tell them, hey, listen, I got over $10,000. Because they don't want me actually, transporting and all of that other stuff, right? They carrying 700 bands through the airport. $700 minimum. Dog, I wouldn't even feel comfortable going through the airport with 700. I'm going to automatically think I'm going to get flagged. Man, what? How?
But generally, it was anywhere from $1 million to $6 million in a suitcase. And there usually was,
I didn't know
as far as I can remember, there was always
those was duffel bags. That ain't no suitcase. Them is duffels. Have y'all ever seen an M in person? It's a lot. It's heavy. It's heavy. That's a duff. Them is duffel bags. Mr. Duffel Bag Boy. Them is duffels. Them ain't suitcases. Them ain't briefcases. That ain't nothing. Them is duffels, and it's heavy. Usually when you start getting to that money that big, they weigh it. These niggas was running up a bag so much, bro. And you know what it is? You know what the worst part about this is that they were actually shipping, moving money. That's all taxpayer dollars. That is taxpayer money. They moving money out the country through taxpayer dollars, bro. That's crazy. That is insane. To think that they is basically pilfering and plundering. They was laughing at y'all. These people are so wild. Yo, 60 to 80% of them is on food stamps. 60 to 80% of them. So they getting paid to live, paid to steal, and they taking it straight through the airport with no problems. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy. If I call you and ask you to give me A-plan papers, we call them A-plan papers here in Detroit. Give me A-plan papers. They're really the family plan in order for you to get the best discount for your car. I gotta make sure that I go through the rigmarole if I call and get a discount in order for me to buy an American vehicle. I'm calling around. Hey man, I tried to when I bought my Challenger. I called somebody and I said, yo, I need the papers or whatever. Man, do you know that it's Stellantis, but we call it Chrysler. Man, Stellantis took me through the ringer. I had to go and substantiate, send in extra documents, all kind of junk, just for me to get a discount so I can buy it. These people was taking 6 M's through the airport, minimum 1. Yeah, you gotta have a PIN number, but then they wanted to flag it because it was like, we want to double check and all of this stuff. Crazy, man.
2 individuals traveling. So you would have maybe one guy with 2.2 million and another guy with 3 million. And
at airports, you're able to take $10,000 without declaring it. How are these guys able to take millions of dollars?
Because as far as I know, as long as they declared it, they were fine. So then TSA would contact HSI and Customs, and I'm sure they got the information. We got the information. My administration knew about it, and I trust that they sent that on to higher state officials on this, but nothing was ever done the whole time I was there. I talked to one individual. We were going after narcotic cash leaving the airport. This was always fraud. We had no nexus to that this cash was related to narcotics. So our hands were kind of tied. We couldn't do a whole lot.
How do you suspect these Somalians had millions of dollars to move in an airport?
We would rack our heads all the time, like, where are they getting this? Where in the world are they getting this money? And I had heard about these daycares and whatnot, but I mean, I thought at the time, okay, maybe they had 10 daycares, but apparently they have a lot more than that. We were all just racking our heads trying to figure this out.
So you openly saw just millions of dollars get moved through these airports.
I saw one time, I saw an open suitcase with the cash.
And you telling me that Tim Walz, Ilhan Omar, Jacob Fry, legislators, man, I can't even breathe without getting audited. Bruh, what? And they've been doing this for years, man, years. They've been running up a bag for years on years. Somebody said go to 740. What's that 740? Let me see.
I have no idea where there's parking them because there is no parking anywhere near this office.
We've arrived to the transportation company. We're outside, and right there we have a Loving Arms adult daycare. All the windows are completely boarded out right there, and there's supposed to be a transportation company registered right here. It's 617, but it's a liquor store. So the location here is 607 and also 617. These are two transportation companies. We're on a main road right now, and this is 607, and it is not a transportation company. It's actually a money transfer, but it's registered here, 607. This does not look like Safari Transportation. Where is the transportation company?
I don't see any signs denoting that there's any transportation. It's all just looks like money wiring. But if you look at the Secretary of State's office, state of Minnesota, Safari Transportation, 607 Cedar Avenue, and it's been registered here since 2015. That was the original filing.
So let's see if we have the manager. Let's see if we can find Fod. Hello. How are you? We're looking for the transportation company.
Safari Transportation?
Looking for Safari Transportation?
There's no
Safari Transportation here.
No Safari Transportation?
Safari Transportation, 607 Cedar Avenue.
We're just looking for Safari Transportation.
We don't know.
So, but this is registered for Safari Transportation,
know.
607.
That's the address.
Okay, we don't know.
We're asking where Safari Transportation is.
We don't know.
Okay, so the business is not here.
Don't record.
Fuad Omar?
Fuad Omar?
We don't know. This, do you see this? What is this?
Money transferring.
That's it.
Okay,
Well, this
registered.
is from the state.
This is fraud taking place. This is supposed to say, this is for Safari Transportation.
Go find out.
How are they a money transfer place, but they selling dresses? Do this look like a money transfer place?
Yeah, we did find out. This is fraud right here.
Registered here.
This is
since
registered.
2015.
2015?
Safari Transportation, state of Minnesota.
2015 one. Oh, yeah.
Well, but it's registered now. This is current, just off the state of Minnesota website today.
Please.
This is from today. I just printed this off today. Fuade Omar.
Go check it out.
We're here. This is 607. Where's Safari Transportation?
Okay, it's not Safari, period.
Okay, so it's a fraudulent
Did
business.
you see Safari anything here?
Exactly.
Did you see?
Exactly. It's not
Did you see
here.
it?
It's a fraud.
Did you see, sir?
Okay, thank you. We're going to go to the next address. All right, let's keep moving on. So 607, this is supposed to be Safari Transportation, no transportation company. And now we're going to 617, another transportation company. However, it is actually Cedar Riverside Liquor. Where is the transportation company?
617.
617 right here.
Dreamline Transportation for the state of Minnesota is registered to 617 Cedar Avenue South.
And it's a liquor store. David, they aren't even trying to hide that these
Yeah.
are transportation companies. Where are the vans at?
Should we ask?
Let's go ask.
Nick got to throw that guy
Hey, we're
back.
looking for Dreamline Transportation.
What's that?
Now we're in 617, Dreamline Transportation.
No,
Where is the transportation company?
no, we don't have this.
You ever heard of Safari Transportation?
Safari, I know Safari, that many wiring, 607.
The money wiring.
Yeah.
Okay, that's money wiring.
Safari
We're looking for
Transportation.
Safari
Maybe there.
Transportation.
607.
They said they never heard of it.
I never did. Safari company, the many wiring, they send money there. That's the 607.
So Safari gets the money and then they wire it out.
Yeah, the many.
That man just said that Safari is actually a money wiring company, so therefore they're receiving money and then wiring it somewhere underneath the name of a transportation
So we
company.
said to go here.
Suite A right here. And then you have 617A right here, but this is reliable services, immigration, travel, and tax. I do not see a transportation company
Good
anywhere.
morning. Hey, we're hoping to find Dreamline Transportation. Have you ever heard of it?
I'm not heard of it. Ask next door.
He said to ask here, that you would know.
Ask next door. This is a mailbox. It's not a road call.
So Dreamline Transportation could be nothing more than a mailbox. 834.
So it could be one of these mailboxes. Well,
Okay, see you later.
607,
This is such fraud at the highest level.
Safari Transportation doesn't exist. It's actually a money wiring business. 617 Dreamline, inside of there, it's actually a liquor store. And then 617A is a place where there's a bunch of mailboxes and it says reliable ITT services. How are you doing, man?
I just want to ask you,
Yes, sir.
why are you sensationalizing the propaganda?
What are we
to-
sensationalizing?
To attack our community. What's your final objective?
We're
Are
not
you-
attacking your
are you-
community by any means.
Are you making
We're
good money
looking-
from this?
We're looking for fraud.
No, I'm
For
not.
instance, can you answer our question? Where's Safari Transportation Company 607?
One second.
It's not there.
How
And why don't
much-
you answer-
How much money are
Why don't you
you?
answer the
How much
question?
money
Where's
are you
617
making?
Dreamline Security?
How much money are you making?
I make money off
this?
of YouTube. That's how I make my money.
Exactly. So you're making money off of sensationalizing
That my job
and attacking
is.
the Somali community.
I'm not attacking you guys. We're asking.
I'll tell you the
fraud is
reason why
fraud,
this is
sir.
happening. All right. Let me tell
David,
you the reason why
fraud
you're
is
attacking
fraud,
this.
correct?
Yes.
This has nothing to do with race. This is fraud.
This
is fraud.
absolutely has to do with us being Muslim.
No, it does not.
All right, and us being from Africa.
Here we go. Yo, listen, they no different than black culture. They just getting money. That's the difference. This is no different than black culture. You know who he is? You know who he is? D.L. Hughley. Getting the money while still blaming himself as a victim. How are they any different than the culture that we have that paints themselves as victims, except for they actually getting richer? You know what? It's because we're Muslim. It's because we're from Africa. It's because we're Muslim and we're from Africa. This is crazy, bro.
This is a constitutional argument. If you don't want us here, change the freedom of religion. Say, listen, we don't want Muslims in this country anymore.
We're not saying that.
No.
We're not saying that.
When I go
Sir,
onto
we're
your
talking
comments,
about fraud. You're
when
talking.
I go onto your comments,
My comments.
what I see is people that say we do not want Muslims here. Kick every single Muslim in Minnesota out of Minnesota.
That's a comment.
You're preparing for the Somali community to maybe be taken to concentration camps, just like the Japanese community. All right, you're sensationalizing.
No, we're not.
All right,
Sir,
something that
answer
can
the
listen.
question. Where is the transportation
something
vehicle
that can
company?
jeopardize
Answer the question.
The safety and the protection of the Somali community.
We're talking about fraud.
If anything happens to the Somali
we're talking
community,
about fraud.
listen, I'm not doing anything. I'm not physically touching.
You're getting very close.
I'm not physically touching. No, I'm not physically touching.
This is fraud. We're talking about fraud. You're defending fraud.
When I go into your comments,
you're defending fraud.
People who hate Muslims want us out of here
people can say
for
what they
being
want.
Muslim.
I'm not censoring anybody.
Are using your material. Islamophobes use your material. People who hate Islam use your material. Say to us, we don't want you here. Change the Constitution. But guess what? Let me tell you something. Guess what?
Say it. We're asking about fraud. We're asking about fraud.
You hate Muslims.
I'm not saying I hate Muslims. We're talking about fraud. We're talking about fraud.
Why are you attacking us?
This
are
is
you the
fraud.
only community that suffers because of fraud?
We're talking about fraud.
Are we the only community that does fraud? Are we the only community that does this?
This is about fraud.
Right, there's what, 300 Somali providers in all of Minnesota?
There's actually 800.
Don't keep talking.
So,
you speak English? Your security doesn't even speak English. Listen, let me tell you something.
See, this isn't a race issue, sir. This is about fraud.
We have, what, 1,000 providers?
Yeah, you guys have a...
Even it's 2,000 providers. Okay, you want to sacrifice the safety of 80,000 people because of fucking 2,000 providers? Are you fucking mad? Are you stupid?
I'm not stupid. You're stupid. Where's the transportation company?
What about if a mass shooting happens in Minnesota? It will be because of you. It will be because of you. If any Somali gets hurt in Minnesota, it's because of Nick Shirley. This is
about fraud.
One single Somali gets hurt.
This is about fraud, sir.
You sensationalizes. You son of a bitch. Sensationalizes.
Wow, you're very nice.
Out of our neighborhood.
Very nice.
Get the fuck out of our neighborhood.
Sir, can you tell me where the transportation company is?
Out of our neighborhood. We don't want you here. Get the fuck out of here.
Calm down, sir.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sir, this is about fraud.
You wanted clicks?
You're sensationalizing yourself, sir.
You wanted clicks?
You're sensationalizing yourself.
You wanted clicks? You wanted YouTube?
Tell me where the transportation vehicle is.
Clicks? You got YouTube clicks. Now get the fuck out of our community.
Tell me where the transportation
vehicle is. Out of our community.
Tell me where the... This is about fraud.
Say I don't want Muslims.
This is about fraud.
Say I don't want Muslims here. Say it. I want to change the Constitution.
No, I don't want to change the Constitution.
Freedom of religion, and I don't want Muslim Somalis in Minnesota to kick them out. I was born in this country. You have to take the passport away from me. That is what you are arguing for.
We're not talking.
Change the Constitution.
This is about fraud.
I appreciate it. Get the fuck out of our community.
This is about fraud.
Get the fuck out of our community. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Stupid fucking idiot.
Tell me where the transportation company is then.
Get the fuck out of here.
Obviously, for this video, we had to get security because look at this now. All right, we're going. But there is no transportation company in there. Fraud. There were no transportation companies.
This is crazy, bro. This is so insane. This is so absolutely crazy and insane what we're actually witnessing right here in the United States of America, bro. I just can't believe that we allow for this country to just be completely destroyed. I don't even respect, and let me say, add something else in this. Let me rewind it to what this guy looks like. I don't even respect at this point. Y'all wanted me to keep it 100. It is Saturday, right? I don't respect at this point when people say stuff like, I was born in this country. I don't. At this point, I think we have to start adding additional parameters to the conversation. We have to say you have to be at least 2 generations deep to really have any stake in what goes on in this country. I'm advocating for it because you could have just been born in this country based off of your parents immigrating here like Joy Reid. You understand what I'm saying? I don't think that it's enough for somebody to just say, I was born in this country. Yeah, but your parents came over here illegally. Am I off? Am I off? People think that just because you say I was born in this country, that means that your word is supposed to mean more. I don't think so. And y'all be lying. Y'all be lying. Y'all be lying. Y'all lying. You lie. You lie. You slick sucker. You lying. You're liars. People that say that sometimes they be capping. They be capping, nigga. I want to see your hospital certificate. I want to see your birth certificate. You know what's so funny? You know what's so funny? Let me see something. I might be able to pull something up. I just thought of this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull it up though. Let me see something real quick. For everybody, I just pulled this up. When my father died, I was able to find every single document from him, right? This is what I'm going to do. Because I'm going to start with myself first. My father was born for everybody. So let's start this new wave, this new movement, because it's a lot of people that says, well, Anton, because I be feeling some type of way. Anton, you must be a tether. I just thought of this. I literally just thought of this, right? For everybody, hold on. Let me download this. You know me, I'm the receipt king. How do I download this? Extract. So I'm going to show you my father's birth certificate. All right. I'm going to just show it straight on this. Certified abstract of birth. This is my father. My father's name is Thaddeus Daniels. Terrell County Hospital, Dawson, Georgia. All right. His father is Aurelius Daniels, truck driver. Age at the time of birth, 24, colored. Date filed 12/30/1957 in the state of Georgia in the county of Terrell. All right. Oak Street, Terrell County, Georgia, December 16th, 1957. This is my father's birth certificate. Mother, Mary Jean Hayes. Mary Jean Hayes. All right. So let's do this. For all of you fake motherfuckers that try to say and throw away tether, throw all of the tether and all of that shit. I got the death certificate, the birth certificate, the whole 9 yards. Vital records. That's the seal. All right. At the bottom. All of that. Now, for all of you tough guys that say that y'all actually was born here in the United States of America, for all of the tough guys that says that they was born, I want to see the records. I want to see the records. When I said for years, listen, my family is from Dawson, Georgia. They migrated up here up to Detroit. I'm born in Detroit, Michigan. I want y'all to pull your receipts. Looks like mine's GA a few generations deep. No. Yeah. I want to see these people's birth certificates. Your family migrated from Mississippi. I want to see these people's birth certificates. For me, it's not enough for you to just say that you was born here in the United States of America. For me, it's not enough for you to say that you was born here in the United States of America. I want to see people's birth certificates. Because everybody talking, and again, I think that this is a deflection. I believe that this is a deflection. I believe that when people call me out of my name, that they're actually deflecting because they don't want nobody to put the spotlight on them and say, hey, who are you? Now, here's the thing. Here's the caveat. I don't look at people that come over here legally. I don't look at people that come over here legally as bad. I actually rock with anybody that is over in the United States of America legally. But I need to start seeing people that accuse other people of the things that they may be guilty of. I want to see y'all birth certificates. I want to see people, because listen, I will never tell you a lie. That is why I am so steadfast on showing the receipts. I don't know why I didn't even go straight to that in the first place. I got my mom and my dad's marriage certificate. I got his death certificate. I got everything. I have everything. I have everything in the files because I converted it over electronically to make sure that I had everything because it was too easy for it to come up missing. I have everything. I want to see y'all birth certificates. I want to see your parents' birth certificates. I want to see your parents' birth certificates for all of the tough people that's sitting here running around talking about what it is that they are or they ain't or where they from and all of that stuff. I want to see it, bro. I want to see it because there's too many people that's running around throwing names around just weird. It's too many people that's just throwing names around and they just calling anybody anything. Nope. I want to start seeing people's birth certificates. All of this little tether talk and all of this stuff. All of this, I don't want to hear none of that, bro. I don't want to hear none of it. I want to hear where you came from. Most of y'all don't even know how to go back how far. You don't even have no documents to prove. I want to see your papers. Ain't that how they doing when they see the illegals that's in Minnesota and Minneapolis? Hey, man, when you got your papers, I want to see you niggas' freedom papers. I want to see your freedom papers. I don't want to see none of that. You niggas is slaves running around. You trying to escape from the Democratic plantation. I want to see your papers. I want to see your papers. I'm checking people's papers now. I'm not playing no games. I'm checking people's papers. Hold on. Let me go check something real quick. Give me 1 second, y'all. Where y'all papers at? Where y'all papers at? I want to know where y'all papers at. I don't want to hear nothing else from nobody because I need to start seeing people's stuff. Too many people out here running around and saying wild stuff. I need to start seeing people's freedom papers. I want to see y'all freedom papers. Did you escape the plantation or no? Somebody says, why the F do people care? Where are you from? I don't know. Because they believe that validated them. And for some reason, the agenda changes, right? Because what you're supposed to be saying or what you mean is invalid because you have an agenda. So now that we remove that excuse, because again, the reason that we have the reason why we show so many receipts is not because we not who we say we are. It's to remove the excuses from I show the receipts from my bank account. I show the receipts from my brokerage account. I show the receipts from my job. I make the phone calls. I pull up the documents. And the reason that I do that is because anybody can say anything, but very few people actually mean what they say, and they speaking it out of truth. It's not too many authentic people anymore. There's not too many authentic people anymore. And so that's why we show what we show. That's why we show what we show. Because everybody is capping. And everybody is making an excuse on why they can't do what they're supposed to do and why they're not supposed to do what they're supposed to do. So I live my life as an open book. That's why I got my real name. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear nothing else from these people. I need to see all of them. Even the big content creators, I want to see it because they just talking. They're just talking to me. I don't believe them no more. I don't believe nobody. And so I want to see your freedom papers. I want to see your papers. Oh, man. Yeah. I want to see your papers. Yep, I do. Dang, I got my parents' marriage certificate and everything, bro. This is crazy. I got all of that, the front and the back. Y'all don't even know who y'all are. Y'all don't even know where y'all came from. Y'all don't even know who y'all are. Y'all don't even know. Y'all don't even have y'all documentation. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats. You got your parents' marriage certificates too and stuff? Never enough. Never enough. Halus says, shout out to the bag chasers. This year I'm going to enter my radiology program. Healthcare is vital, fellas. The Irish American says, let's say for a moment they bring in the Marines, none of this shit would be happening. They couldn't be that stupid to F around with the military. What's up, home? Says Corey started the disrespect by showing up late for his guest. As he said, I did it on purpose. He got in his feelings when Darlene mentioned you two chopped it up before the show. Should have been there to protect your girls. Credo says, everybody don't warrant a debate just because they call you out of your name. Forever Runway Fashion Line says, in your opinion, what are the benefits in getting married? That's an entire live stream. All right. You want me to answer that? Do the people want me to dig into this right now? Can I give you the cliff notes real quick? All right. First of all, there's different people that get married for different reasons. You also got to take into consideration religious, cultural, all of this stuff, right? So let's just say, for example, I'm going to give you a few different groups of people. Let's say, for example, that you're a young person, you don't have anything. You exchange strengths for weaknesses, especially if y'all don't have nothing, y'all building together, y'all got to figure it out. Also, you have to factor in children. If you plan on having children, statistically speaking, the best children come from two-parent married home people, right? They can see the balance between masculinity and femininity, and you have to have a strong family dynamic in order for them to have the best chance possible to be successful. Also, people get married to preserve culture. They get married to preserve resources. That's why you're seeing different families, especially once they got older, marrying, right? Also, benefits. Also, the covenant that you have with God. There's a 1,000 different reasons that you can use. You can even go into more practical reasons. When I went broke in 2007 and 2008, and they repossessed all of my cars and my vehicles, I literally let that reset, right, over a period of 7 years. And at the same time, I was able to preserve and use her credit in order for us to continue to be successful and then continue to build on that in order for us to do the things that we needed to do. So there's a lot of different things that you can use and that you can do in order to be successful when it comes to what your agenda is to get married. Now, am I saying that everybody should or needs to get married? Absolutely not. I can tell you just as many reasons or 1,000 reasons or give you the cliff notes on why you shouldn't, depending on where you are in your life, especially if you don't have children. But like I said, there's a lot of different reasons why you should or you shouldn't, but every individual is different. Crimson says, greetings and good day, Lord Anton. Nah, y'all know I like that shit. I will tell you, though, I know women that, well, let me see. I know at least one woman right off the top of my head that she'll regularly tell you, oh, I don't, I'm going to do what I want to do. Or I'm going to think what I want to think or whatever. She make these dope hats too. I have to let y'all check them out one day. I'm going to have to let y'all check them out. Coolest person in the world, smell good, the whole 9 yards. But boy, I said, you know what? You're going to have to fix that. You're going to have to fix that. Crimson, I like that. I like that. I like what you got going on. You got Edgar, shout out to you for the 5 ball. I appreciate you. V Nicole RN with the 50 ball says, love you, friend. You make my day every day. Y'all don't do this to me. Don't do this to me on a Saturday. I'm trying to keep my life together. You know what I'm saying? Stay in pocket. Had discipline. I had so much discipline. I exhibited so much discipline. Sometimes I even test myself for how much discipline that I have. You know what I'm saying? B Southern. What up, B Southern? Y'all leveling up, ladies. I like what y'all got going on. She got the Louis scarf and everything. Blessings, AD. Stay the course. You have the recipe while others are stuck in the sauce. All right, let me see what else is going on. I have to run over there real quick. Eric TV says you're more than just an amazing worker or Amazon worker. Resonated with me all last night, even now. But what though? Well, that's what we got to discover. That's what we got to figure out. Edgar says, let's talk about Luda being canceled by the 92%. I thought y'all liked Luda. Y'all don't like Luda? TL410 Gaming says, I dropped a story about Governor Moore and bullshit. What's going on here in Maryland, especially Baltimore? It's in the Bag Chasers chat. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, the Discord is attached to any of the most recent videos inside of there. All right. Coyote says an elderly gentleman from CNN did expose the same fraud years ago. I don't know why it failed to get traction. Oh, Irish American says these protests, you see not one Somalian. Daily Discourse with Arturo says topic, Tim Walz and Frey, Department of Justice investigation. I want me to tackle that? All right, I'll look into it. Shout out to you, Anthony Labraccio. I appreciate you. Renee. Exactly, but they hassled Dr. Sebi for flying with $10,000 in cash, and he was healing folks. Yeah, big pharma, baby. Carrington Love Jr. says, because I'm cashing. Oh, no, I'm cashing out. And shout out to Anthony. I appreciate you, bro. Eric TV says, yeah, money laundering place, washing money like a mother effer. Carrington Love Jr. says they got to do better than this, Anton. My trucking company is registered to a business suite in Wyoming. They could be running a virtual address business, but have absolutely no proof. AR's back says he the Somalian Corey Holcomb. That guy on there. He sounded like Corey. Protect Nick Shirley at all costs. What up, Molly? Y'all want to see Molly in the studio one day? Y'all not ready for Molly at all. Finding Love in the Dominican says you and Nick Shirley mad at Minnesota Somalians when they are living the bag chaser. No, they're not. No, they're not. No, they're not. We don't promote fraud. You can't. He said you can't tell them how to bag chase legal or not. Y'all so dumb. Real talk, bro. What up, Ferris Bueller? Simeon. What up, Simeon? Says God set the standard. You needed to be at least 3 generations in to share commonwealth of Israel. Oh, that's a good one. Dude basically saying let us steal in peace. Mr. Lot says paperwork part. Yeah, I like that song too. Paperwork party. Just Christian Black says not seeing how they think tether is an insult when you're more successful than them. And they were born here. And so were I. So was I. Locked in on my B-Day today. We up. Shout out to my dog Juan Hudson. Salute, says Shinsi. What up, Shinsi? I like the new profile picture, bro. Carrington Love Jr. says Somalis basically figured out loopholes in the federal and state funding that allows for you to create and run home-based and virtual businesses that qualify for government funds yearly. Hashtag could have been records. Carrington Love Jr. also says, and since Somalis move as a community, everyone shares social security numbers, aka ITINs, with their village. So their audits have client information and logs of activity as required. That is very smart. Brick Squad G, what up, Brick Squad? Says, hey, Anton, just asking if you would post my child on your socials. She has been missing since Thursday in Dayton, Ohio. Just trying to bring my baby girl home. What's your girl? What's your child? Email it to me right now. I'll put it up right now. Email it to me, Brick Squad. Let me know when you emailed it to me. Jay Thomas, prayers up for your baby girl. Anton, have you heard about the protesters who broke into the ICE vehicles and found federal enforcement information? Broadcasted over social media, and it's circulating on X now. I did. I'll play that in a minute. Tony Esquire says, when I attain the skill, I want to start a channel focusing on military and government fraud, waste, and abuse. I thought about you while watching Tom Cruise as Vincent in Collateral yesterday. Edgar says, chat, lock in your financial situation. 26 is huge. Much respect to AD. Let's dig into it.
Did happen after last night's shooting is what many residents and lawmakers had feared, and that is some protesters becoming violent and destructive. WCCO captured this exclusive video of people smashing and looting FBI vehicles. Within the last 90 minutes, FBI Director Kash Patel offered a reward up to $100,000 for information leading to the recovery of stolen property or an arrest. Jonah Kaplan has more on what that exclusive video shows.
Why aren't you protecting the community that you took an oath to protect?
The latest shooting involving Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers happened around 7 p.m. Wednesday.
We're shooting!
WCCO photojournalist Tom Avilis was a few blocks near the scene 2 hours later. This is what he saw.
I'm Somalian, so I'm here to represent my people. Yeah. Also represent Mexicans, Somali, all immigrants.
How the f is you recording me as if I'm like you need to record me?
I'm documenting.
What's wrong with you?
Get out of here!
You know, it feels sort of surreal. It doesn't feel like this should be the world that we have to live in.
Dozens of protesters smashed through two parked, unmarked FBI vehicles. They then forcibly rip out a large lockbox from the trunk and try desperately to open it. The crowd tore through a second vehicle too and successfully broke into the locked container. It was already emptied.
We were in the street, and the paperwork was on the floor.
One woman we spoke with showed us what she claimed was inside, documents that appear to be from the U.S. Marshal Service.
The whole intel, how they picking them up, how they finding them, how they casing the joint, where they taking them to, how to access the buildings that they taking them to, the coins that they receive for everyone that they picked the up.
Minneapolis police eventually moved in, deployed tear gas and pepper balls to disperse the crowd. Those looted SUVs, now covered in graffiti, were towed away.
How much money are you making? I make 14 an hour. How about you?
These people are the worst, bro. Are the worst. So this is the reason why federal agents, and look at this heifer. Look at this heifer. Straight out of the Medea's Family Reunion movie. Gotta be one. And guess what? Dressed like just like her liberal. Look just like a liberal. Look at this dummy. So they over here, and of course, you know, it's gonna be the white people that got the bricks and all of this other stuff, right? And so they're gonna be putting their hands in you know, destroying the vehicles, ripping stuff out. And so when I see Governor Tim Walz go out there and he says, oh man, listen, these are peaceful protesters. These are the people that are the best in the community. These are the people that truly hold me down. When I see them say this type of stuff, I'm perplexed because I don't see nothing peaceful from any of these people. I don't see anything peaceful from any of these people that are trying to get people's families towed down, spray paint vehicles, beating, hitting ICE vehicles with baseball bats, costing y'all more money in taxpayers. But the narrative that they'll try to spin to y'all is, hey man, this is peaceful. These people just have their whistles. They're just out here having a good time. That is the narrative that they will spin to you. These people are anarchists, and that's it. That's all they are, is anarchists. They come to kill, steal, and destroy, and do the worst things ever. They've come to kill, steal, and destroy. They're anarchists. They're pure anarchists. They have no good intentions for anything that is good inside of the United States of America, and they are looking to destroy everything in their path that they can get their hands on. It's the same thing when people started burning down the AutoZone, tearing down the Wendy's during the Black Lives Matters protests. And I've always asked myself, I said, well, if these people are such proponents of the community and they want what's best, why are they looting? Why would you tear down the very neighborhood? Why would you destroy the grocery store, the only grocery store that you have in the vicinity? And then you'll complain when they shut it down permanently and say you got a food desert. You know why? Because most of those people are not even from the places that they are causing anarchy in. A lot of them are paid protesters. A lot of them are paid ops. A lot of them are plants. A lot of them are people that are pushing an agenda. A lot of them mask up not just because they don't want to be found out and they don't want to be exposed, is because they don't want to be responsible for the decisions that they make and the things that happen. Paid anarchy, pure chaos.
Access the buildings that
How much money are you making? I make 14 an hour. How about you? Hey, you know
What did that? Did y'all catch that? Did y'all hear what I heard? That wasn't supposed to be on camera.
I make. How much money are you making? I make 14 an hour. How about you? Hey, you know what? Do you know what I'm...
They're not talking about how much money do you make at your job. Is he saying, because that's what I took from it, is he saying 14 or 40, and then if he is making that, is that what he's saying he's getting paid to be a anarchist / protester? No, y'all missing it. Y'all missing it. Y'all think that he's saying that that's how much he makes on his job. I'm taking it to mean this is how much he's getting paid to agitate. This is how much he's getting paid to be out there causing problems. That's an additional $14 an hour for them to be out there being destructive and disruptive. That's the way that I'm taking it. I'm not taking it the same way that everybody else is taking it. His job, and he's being compensated. I missed this the first time that I actually looked at this.
How much money are you making? I make 14 an hour. How about you?
Because nobody says I make 14. Nobody says how much money are you making while they're sitting there looking at the vehicles getting towed in the middle of the night. How much money are you making? I'm making 14 an hour. How about you? What kind of conversation is that? Who says that? Who says that? Who just volunteers how much they're making at their regular job? I missed it the first time. I missed it the first time that I seen this. I just so happened to scrub up through the video and catch it. Man, these people are evil, bro. These people are straight up evil.
How much money are you making? I make 14 an hour. How about you? Hey, do you know what a homunculus is? Do you even know what that is? Do you even know what that means? You keep glazing right over me. What I'm speaking is the truth. You can't buy it.
Why is that?
Straight up. But I feel like she keeps talking about it. I don't know. Why?
I can't believe it. I can't believe it. They're actually paying these people. Correct, Ange. They paying these people to destroy their own city. I can't believe it. Let me ask y'all a question. Because that is the biggest sellout ever. How much could somebody pay you to destroy your own city? What would it cost you to go against your morals and your principles and be an agitator and create the chaos that's needed to destroy your own city? How much can they pay you to sell out your own community, to sell out your own culture, to sell out your own country? Wow. Wow. That's how much your soul costs, $14 an hour? That's how much it costs, $14 an hour to get you to sell out your own country? That's crazy. That's all it took, huh? $14 an hour. It's messed up. That's messed up. Ron DeSantis, I'm going to read the super chats in a second. Ron DeSantis apparently said, fuck around and find out. Let me see where that was at. Why is the audio so low?
But they are getting a very different result. Here's what happened when one woman decided, allegedly punched a Florida trooper in the face. Spoiler alert, this did not end well for her. Take a look.
You.
This did not end well for her. Take a look.
You.
That's what I'm used to. That's more like it. That's more like it. That's what I'm used to. Gang Squad, Detroit. Like what? That's what I'm used to. Except for it's not against a police car. Usually it's up against a corner store brick wall. That's more like it. All of this sitting there letting people yell in your face. I don't believe you. What are you doing? Why are you arresting ICE agents? Sitting here listening to these hoes with whistles. That's more like it. That's more motherfucking like it. You got to start making these people understand that it's different. That's the difference between Tim Walz and Ron DeSantis. That's the difference. That is the difference. You got to start making these giving out concussions. You got to start giving people a couple of concussions. Because while the adrenaline is running through them, they're not going to feel it. Listen. You don't feel it until later. You don't feel it until later. When you're sitting in that cell, first you got to take that ride down to the precinct, in that hard-ass police car, because you still got the adrenaline running, but they got that plastic seat in the back, and you sitting there with your arms behind your back, then you got to sit in the cell, and you got that white bread, no cheese, bologna, sitting in that cell, and your body start to ache a little bit, your head start to hurt a little bit, and you start telling them, hey man, I'm dizzy, I got a headache. Well, nigga, lay down. 7 of y'all in there, 1 toilet, waiting for your court date because it's the weekend, waiting for you to get a bail hearing because it's the weekend. And so you got to sit in jail for at least 3 days. You got to go to work in the morning and there ain't nobody to call off for you. That's more like it. That is more like it. Then you got to spend $2,000 just to retain an attorney to defend you, or else you're going to get them the slip and slide attorney, that public defender. That's more like it. And you're going to feel it. And you're going to start feeling it. It ain't going to be in the morning. You're going to feel it then. And then it's going to be more pronounced. It's going to feel like you was working out. It's going to feel like you was working out. No bruises, all internal. It's just going to be, you're going to be sore. You're going to be sore.
Well, for her. Take a look.
You. Let's not feel that. They gave her the finger 4 leg lock. They gave her the finger 4 leg lock. The Macho Man Randy Savage. I like that.
Weak ass. Don't you dare start kicking. No, stop.
Praise that hoe.
Close. Let your head up.
Yeah, she gonna feel that in the morning. She got them Ugg boots on. She got tased, suplex, got a concussion, and she on them hard ass seats. Now she breathing her. Yeah, she gonna feel that shit. She evil. She evil. That ain't nothing but a demon. That's a full-blown demon out there. That's a full-blown demon. Now, let me add another caveat into this conversation. Some of y'all deal with these same funky hoes at home. She was somebody's girlfriend. If she not now, she definitely was at some point. Somebody's wife, somebody's girl. Somebody dealt with that hoe at home. These are the type of women that y'all dealing with at home behind closed doors. They kick y'all with them Uggs on and shit like that. They can't get away with it with the cops, but they've been getting away with it with you. Some of y'all been dealing with these somebody watching this right now. We got thousands of people watching this. Somebody watching right now was like, that's just like my wife. That's just like my wife. I'm telling you.
Florida Attorney General posted a picture of the alleged assailant, writing, quote, "This is Jennifer Cruz of Jacksonville. Jennifer disagrees with immigration enforcement and decided to commit a few felonies by getting out of her car and punching a trooper in the face. But unlike Minnesota, well, we don't put up with this nonsense. Not today, Jennifer." Florida Governor Ron DeSantis replied to the Florida AG's post and wrote, quote, "Yeah, really bad decision to attack one of our troopers. This isn't Minneapolis." Here now with more. The governor, the free state of Florida, Ron DeSantis, governor. Well, I mean, there's some humor to it. I feel bad for the officer. I have had an opportunity in just the course of my daily living. I run into law enforcement down here in Florida all the time. I stop and say hello. All the time I stop and say thank you for what you do, appreciate what you do.
Yep.
And It's just a whole different environment. I used to live in New York. It's very different down here.
Yeah, Sean, I used to always say earlier in my tenure, all you guys should know, this is not Portland where you can do this, get slapped on the wrist, and then just get put right back on the street to do it again. If you do that, you're going to be on the working end of a jail cell. That's just the way it's going to work. We're going to hold you accountable, particularly when you talk about our state troopers who are working with DHS to enforce federal immigration law. There's a lot of people on the far left that want an open border. They don't want immigration enforcement. They think if someone comes illegally and commits felonies, they should be able to stay. But you know what, Sean? That is not the law in the United States of America. And in fact, we just had a presidential election where the voters voted for Donald Trump in large part, because Joe Biden had an open border and there were illegals coming from everywhere. So they can run on open border and try to change it for that, but the public does not want that. So if you're trying to interrupt law enforcement just doing their job, which keeps us safe, we are going to hold you accountable and buckle up. You picked the wrong state to mess around with.
I agree.
It's such a different mentality than,
we
say,
need more
Minnesota
Ron
or
DeSantis in our community and in our environments. People have been trying to get away and feeling like they can get away with this type of stuff for a long time, and it's because you don't have any strong people that actually backs our law enforcement officers, but instead, a lot of times, they decided to actually make law enforcement officers the enemy. They decided to make law enforcement officers the enemy. That is what is wrong with our society today. Law enforcement has been demonized. It has been considered to be the worst thing for us, when in reality, they just don't have the support and the backing. There's plenty of police departments that are absolutely 100% morally, like they're just down on their luck. Chicago, oh my God. I know so many police officers over in Chicago. Bro, over in Chicago, they are demoralized because they have no support from their leaders. They don't have any support from the mayor. They don't have any support for the aldermen. And so when you don't have support from the people that actually help you, you know who suffers? The community. Philadelphia, they going through it. I used to coach a lot of people. I coached a few officers over in Philadelphia. I coached a few officers in Philadelphia. They feeling some type of way. They are feeling some type of way. Police officers in Los Angeles, they feel some type of way. Minnesota, I haven't talked to any police officers in Minneapolis. I have not. I'm being absolutely honest. I'm always tell y'all the truth. But if you look at their body language, and I've talked to police officers that are not in Minneapolis, Minnesota, but they have commented on, like, police officers outside of it, but actually told me and commented on what they think about those police officers. They're going through it. They're going through it. The police officers have no support whatsoever, and they are pissed. They are pissed.
California, sanctuary states with sanctuary cities, and even illegal immigrants that are in jail, when they are released, rather than hand them over to ICE, they know their status. They know they committed crimes. Thanks. They don't care. What do? They let them out. They protect them when they should be handing them over to the federal government. What happens in Florida? Explain the difference.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you're in one of our jails, so we're the only state in the country where all state and local law enforcement are legally obligated to assist DHS with immigration enforcement. And so, of course, if they end up in a jail and they're here illegally, ICE will be alerted, and then they will be able to take the suspect and put them in immigration. Now, there's sometimes people commit really serious crimes. They get convicted in Florida courts, and so they end up going to prison to serve that debt. And then when they get out of prison, DHS will come and take them. You know, when Biden was president, even though we would always alert DHS, there were people that they refused to pick up who had served time for committing felonies. Under President Trump, it's like clockwork. As soon as somebody is in jail, coming out of prison, they are turned over to ICE and they are sent away. And in fact, just in the last year, since President Trump's been in office, state and local law enforcement throughout Florida have assisted with almost 20,000 apprehensions of illegal aliens. And so that's over and above what the feds would normally be doing. And you know what, Sean? Because we work with ICE and work with the administration, you don't see Minneapolis happen in Florida. You don't see a lot of the things happening to that scale because we're actually all on the same team here.
That's dope.
You know what? And guess what? It's a safer state. It's safer for everybody. Law enforcement, there aren't people inciting others to go after them. Governor, great to see you. Appreciate it. Great job. Hey, Sean.
They're not letting that happen over in Florida. And that's dope. You need a strong leadership. And this is why I say y'all got to vote locally. People don't believe that you should vote locally, but you know, what are you going to tell them? What are you going to say? What do you tell people that has never voted in their life? TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, yeah, if you want a topic to talk about the Gervonta Davis case. Wesley Turner says, I'm guessing this is peaceful, right? Jay Thomas says they just defeated their argument when they say ICE just be picking up anyone as if we didn't know that they already had a list of who was illegal and who wasn't. TS Car Wash and Detail Services, I sent the Joe Budden reaction to you and Corey under Joe Budden React. Freight Train J, I'll check it out later. I'm not tripping about it. It's a billion people that reacted to that. I just don't have the capacity to be able to look at all of it. I'm so tired of soft men and white lesbian libs. Ryan Powell, photo.com says them protesters don't care about them immigrants. They just frustrated due to their awful personal life decisions and the strongholds of liberalism. Petra says paid activists by Act Blue, Soros fraud and NGO money. Brick Squad says just sent it, Anton. I appreciate it in advance. Thank you, bro. I'll check it out. 1 second. Self-Made Forever says if the grid ever goes down and the power goes out, these are the people who will cause chaos first. I bet they pray for the purge every day. These people soft, bro. David M. Williams says America is built upon the First Amendment, freedom of speech. That is what makes the U.S. the U.S. If that gang squad had body cameras back then, they'd be all locked up. I support Trump and the Constitution. Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. They was knocking heads on the people that was the worst for the community. And I'm never going to be against that. I'm never going to be against it. Listen, we're not talking about people that are freely protesting. We are talking about people that were breaking the law. We're talking about people that was selling dope in the communities. We're talking about people that was carjackers. When they handled them, they didn't handle them with care. They handled them aggressively because these were aggressive actors. So I don't know what neighborhoods y'all grew up in. I don't know what environments that y'all grew up in. I don't know what type of savages, or if there are savages at all, that y'all talking about. We're not talking about freedom of speech. We're not talking about people that are peacefully protesting. We're not talking about people that are standing in the street with whistles. We're talking about cop killers, bro. We're talking about cop killers. Mr. Dill says, what's funny is the vast majority of those that arrested 8 liberal retardants, women, that have never had repercussions to their actions. Jacob L. Parker says, my grandparents' crib was on Hartwell. I used to know a girl that lived on Hartwell. Hartwell is on the west side. Yep, Vassar and Schaefer, but I lived on Mack and I-75. Oh, you was on Mack. The projects, man, when Gang Squad did the sweep, see, he know. Jacob know. Tony Esquire says at 18 years in the league, U.S. Army Sergeant First Class, it bothers me when fellow soldiers don't want back each other's play. Have you seen the movie Gangster Squad? Those ICE agents, I haven't seen it. New to your channel, how do I join the Bag Chasers? The link to the Patreon, which is the Bag Chaser, is in the description of any of the most recent videos. The link, actually not even the most recent videos, it's actually pinned to the top of the chat. So you can click the link in the description or it's pinned to the top of the chat. All right? All right. I kind of want to talk about real estate because I seen this this report. First of all, they got, they trying to do a 10%, a max out of 10% of what the interest rates are on credit cards. And then I also seen that people were refinancing their homes massively after Trump talked about interest rates. So make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. I just want to get to the money a little bit, all right? Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's go here.
All right, weekly mortgage numbers just out. We want to get over to Diana Olick for those numbers. Diana, good morning.
Good morning, Becky. Yeah, and mortgage demand spiked sharply higher last week after President Trump's post on social media that in an effort to lower rates, he would order Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to buy $200 billion in mortgage-backed bonds. Now, just on that news, the average rate on the 30-year fix sunk briefly below 6% on Friday morning before bouncing slightly higher again. But the average rate on the 30-year fix for all of last week, that's the average on the Mortgage Bankers Association survey for conforming loans, dropped to 6.18% from 6.25%. Again, that's the weekly average, but Friday it was much lower. And as a result, refinance demand surged 40% higher for the week and was 128% higher than the same week 1 year ago. The average.
Y'all gotta stop taking out these loans. Y'all gotta stop refinancing. And some people will make the case and say, well, I'm getting a lower rate, so it's gonna cost me less. Y'all just need to get out from under these bad loans and just pay off your property, bro. You're paying the fees. You gotta pay the fees also. All y'all doing is really pulling money out of y'all houses and y'all properties. All you're doing is trying to pull the money out. That's what's fucking wrong with this country. That is what's wrong with the country. I hate the Burr method. I hate the Burr method. I absolutely do. Absolutely hate it. Y'all know what the Burr method is? So they buy it, right? Let's say, for example, somebody get a property, pick up an apartment property or something like that, right? And they put a little bit of money into it. Most of it is aesthetic in order to try to increase the occupancy rate. So they want the occupancy rate to hit a certain percentage. Then once the occupancy rate hit a certain percentage, then they can raise the rents a little bit, right? Once they hit a certain occupancy rate and they raise the rents, right? Then they refinance, pull the money out based off of what the new, remember this, there's a new value for the property. So instead of the property is worth X amount of dollars, is worth significantly more because they were able to raise the rents and increase the occupancy by just putting a little bit of money in there, right? So now they pull the money out and they either at some point sell it or they continue to try to keep the occupancy high to try to pay down the mortgage. And then what that allows for them to do is to take the money, buy a couple toys, and then reinvest it into another property and try to do the same thing, rinse and repeat. So basically what these people are teaching out here is go and buy a property, improve it slightly, try to get more people in there and try to increase the rent, go to the bank and say, this is the new valuation of the property based off of what I was able to increase it, what I'm taking in. The bank reassesses it at a higher value. They then pull the money out of that property, the difference between what they owe on the mortgage and what the new valuation is. They go and buy a couple toys, and then they go and do the same thing over again, hoping that they can continue to make the mortgage from the property based off of the amount that people are paying. What that does is it then makes housing more unaffordable, while at the same time creating a bubble, because if anything happens to where the occupancy rate drops down or something like that, then whoever it is that owns the property won't be able to sustain it. And then it creates a bubble, a real estate bubble, right? And so it really is bad for the economy, is bad for the community, but it lets you individually, if you're able to pull it off, feel as though you're getting rich and you're being successful. That's why a lot of people say, oh, I own a lot of doors, I own a lot of this, I own a lot of that. That combined with institutional investors buying up the majority of the homes in places like Georgia, interest rates, all of this stuff, it's creating an environment that's unsustainable. So when you look to Trump or you look to the federal government and you say, hey, man, why ain't my housing? Why is the rent too high? When Bernie Sanders comes in and says the rent is too goddamn high and all of this shit, right? Mom Donnie says that he's going to freeze the rent. And they start putting all of these things in place. It's not going to help you. You are not realizing that this is artificially created. This has nothing to do with the federal government. What Trump is trying to do is put pressure on Jerome Powell at the Fed to actually lower interest rates. But instead, he's not able to do that because Jerome Powell is fighting back, right? For whatever reason. So then Trump tries to go around him and say, well, listen, we can lower interest rates by taking $200 billion and being better by this. And so they're trying to manipulate interest rates so that people would spend more money on housing, sell houses, feel like they can have a more affordable way of living and actually be able to get a refinance on their mortgages, those that are already in properties, to pull the value out of their homes and go and spend it on a bunch of bullshit. That is the truth. But we don't want to learn about that shit. You know what we want to talk about? We want to talk about dick and pussy. We want to talk about stupid stuff. We don't want to mix it in. Now, if I start having this conversation and breaking this down on some of the ignorant platforms, then it's going to be like, oh, you think you're better than us. You think you're better than us. Stop selling your mama's properties. Stop pulling money out of your properties. Stop selling your mother's property. Stop refinancing. You're making your cost of living go up. Somebody says, Anton, where Michaela Montgomery been? She around? I just talked to her yesterday. Actually, I was texting back and forth with her yesterday. Y'all want to know where she been? That's my girl. That's my baby. That is my baby. It's funny that you asked about her. I was just kicking it with her. That's what I just said, Bob Brown. They take it and they go and use it for another property, bro. What's going on? Hey, listen, Michaela. I got you on the live stream.
Hi.
The people want to know where you've been at. They said they're asking about you in my chat.
Well, tell them, look, it's 2026. I plan to pop out this year. I had to lay low. I had some things I needed to take care of, a couple goals I needed to accomplish, but I got my bearings in order, and y'all can look forward to seeing a lot of me in 2026. Actually, Anton, I need to be asking you why you haven't been calling me more.
What do you mean? Well, I keep telling you that I want you to come and see me and that I'm gonna bring you here.
Well, what's up? You know my name, birthday, email. I don't really know what's stopping you because, you know, I do what you say. So if you say, hey, you in Detroit next weekend, I guess my black ass will be in Detroit next weekend.
So you gonna do anything I tell you to do?
I mean, you know, we have a few parameters, but
all right, bet. Then say less. Watch what I do.
I'm going to increase the cadence in which we communicate with one another. Because, yeah, you've been playing with me for the past year. But look, like I said, I got my life together now. So we are good.
All right, bet. I'm on you. I'm going to call you as soon as I get up.
I love y'all. Thank you so much for checking on me and loving me, even in my times of disappearance.
No, we about to have you popping out. I love you. I love you, baby.
I love you too.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
There you go. There is Michaela. I love that girl. Don't be asking where my friends are. Don't be asking where my friends are. Talking about she calling you out, preach girl. She cool. I love her.
Average loan size for refi applications also higher because borrowers with larger loan sizes are typically more sensitive to those changes in rates. Now, applications for a mortgage to buy a home, which are less sensitive to sudden rate changes, they increased 16% for the week and were 13% higher than the same week 1 year ago. The increase there probably driven more by just people returning from the holidays, easing home prices, and more inventory available for sale. Now, mortgage rates, they moved a little bit higher to start this week. That's according to a separate survey from Mortgage News Daily. Becky?
So let me go over to this other, well, let me hit it.
And that's really amazing, that surge that came in, would you say 40% higher on the refinancings just because it dipped below slightly on Friday? I mean, that tells you a little bit about the pent-up demand there is for people who are hoping to get access to lower rates.
Somebody said you never own it because of property taxes. That is correct. But guess how you then solve for that? Guess how you then solve for that? Getting involved in local politics. Getting involved in local politics. That is how you solve for that. Getting involved in local politics. I keep telling people, you can't have any meaningful change if the only thing that you protesting is if somebody wind up getting killed by the goddamn police. Very much so, but you can still control the amount that you're paying in property taxes. You can control the amount that you're paying in property taxes. 100% you can. You absolutely can. Yeah, there will probably always be property taxes, and you can control where your property taxes are going. I don't vote. I don't vote. Okay. All right. I heard that one before. Just heard it last week.
Solid quarter all around. Guidance was in line with what they had expected heading into the quarter, but a couple lingering things, higher expenses for 2026 as they continue to invest for growth. We're talking about $9 billion increase in expenses, and then the credit card cap is still lingering across JP Morgan and the large banks.
Herman, since everyone's been talking about the proposed cap by President Trump on credit card fees, what was the messaging from JP Morgan on the impact of that?
The messaging was that this would have drastic repercussions, not only for JP Morgan, the banking industry, consumers, and overall GDP growth. So you think of credit as being the lubricator for economic activity. And when you slash card rates, that really will reduce the credit availability for a lot of JP Morgan's customers. So you can think of a large swath of them just not having credit card usage going forward under a 10% rate cap.
And you see the reason why they fighting so hard about a 10% rate cap is because you basically be killing the profits of large banks significantly. Because if you can give a 18% to 26% interest rate on a credit card, for example, and people basically is paying that because they have to be protected against themselves in order to make bad decisions, you're killing a lot of the profits that come into the banking industry that they use to be able to push out other products, right? Because the bank's goal is to loan as much money as possible. Their goal is to get as much money out there as possible. They want more money to circulate. Why do you think that banks? Because some people will say, oh my God, man, they're not lending to us. No. If you are a person that is worthy, they will chase you down to give you money. They will chase you down to give you money because that's how they make money. Their goal is to find people that is worthy to lend to that know how to make it shake. But the problem is that our economy is built off of financing because we don't make anything anymore. So we need a better balance. It's almost like Detroit back in 2008, right? We were not diversified in what we did in this economy, in our local economy. And so what we did was we only sold cars. It was only based off of the auto industry, mostly the auto industry, and everything was dependent on the auto industry. So when you seen the collapse happen in 2008 and two of the automakers filed for bankruptcy, well, that's what happened to Flint. The reason why Flint is fucked up is not because Flint is ghetto. It's because Flint depended solely on the auto industry. Flint was one of the most prosperous cities in the United States of America at one point. People don't even know that. More money was flowing out of Flint because they had General Motors up there. All of the major plants was up there. More money was coming through in Flint, and they was busting that bag down. But the problem was that when the auto industry didn't sustain itself the way that it was back then, and all of the jobs and all of that, well, the economy became interdependent on that alone. Yo. Yeah, I seen it. All right. Bye. So what we did was we diversified. Not only do we still have all of our auto industry, which is booming because they added a lot of jobs and stuff like that, but we've diversified significantly. We are the largest mortgage city in the United States of America, Detroit and Metro Detroit. We have more mortgage jobs as far as Rocket Loans, United Warehouse Mortgage. We do more revenue, and to have Dan Gilbert actually move his company into Detroit actually is one of the biggest turnaround reasons why you see the Hudson's building in the background over here. When you see that building right there, that is literally built by Dan Gilbert. And it spurs an economy that then generates a lot of revenue, which then inspired the sports teams to move all within the city, created other industries. It's a lot more going on, but you have to have a diversified industry, and you got to do that by creating an economy or an environment that is business friendly. It has to be diversified. It can't be just dependent on one thing. And so even the Trump administration, they saying, listen, we need to, over time, probably over the next 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 years, create new industries, whether it's making chips here, whether it's opening up and expanding auto manufacturers, whether it's developing products that are designed and made by Apple here, all of that type of stuff. When you see Trump say, well, we got trillions and trillions of dollars that is going to be invested in the United States of America, this is our attempt to force companies to do business in here that's beyond just loaning the money or designing it or any of that type of stuff. They actually have to create and distribute products inside of the United States of America to still be able to do business with us. You know what I'm saying? Anyways. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Jacob L. Parker says, my trust owns 3 properties in Woodbridge and Detroit debt-free. AD, you seen the commercial construction coming to Woodbridge over 100 million? Yep. You know I do. You know I have. Tony Esquire says the current Republican roster is looking like the 92 Dream Team. J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio, Tulsi Gabbard, Kristi Noem, Ron DeSantis, Byron Donalds, and Anton Daniels as starting point guard. I don't know about that last pick. I ain't ready yet. Lit Studio says, appreciate you, Anton, and the new Marty McFly going in on Biff the Bully. Representing, y'all been watching too much Back to the Future. Representing for the geeks that escaped the hood Arrowsbeck says, Roger and me does a great job illustrating the decline of Flint. I think that's enough for today. That's enough for today. I might even pop out at the Pistons game tonight and see what's happening. Instead of giving my tickets over to my people, I've been giving them to my brothers, letting them go. You know what I'm saying? Giving them to my people here and there, letting them go. Having all of my people experience the same thing that I've been experiencing. I might pop out at the Pistons game tonight. Who they playing? Let me see who they playing. I'm still checking y'all papers, too. I want y'all to know that. I'm still checking your papers. I want to see where your parents was born at. Shout out to Leela D. Berg. I appreciate you, Leela. Thank you for holding me down, Leela. Also, I want to give a shout out to A. Wyatt says for the offering plate, Deacon Daniels. Samuel Silver says the community tithe. I appreciate you, Samuel Silver. I also want to acknowledge they called me Mr. Bibbs. I went downtown the other day. Didn't think they would ever tear down the county. Detroit is the future. Shout out to you, bro. All right. Like the iPhone case, Anton. I don't use iPhone cases. I let my phones get some wear and tear on it. I use my stuff. Look at that. See my phone? See all of that wear and tear on my phones? I beat my shit up. I don't use cases. I don't use cases on my phone. What do I use? What do I have Apple Care for if I'm a use cases? Have you heard the new rapper Chris, the God MC Kane song 8080 sounds like a bag chaser? No, I ain't heard of him. How you do that, AD? I don't know. I'm rough on shit. All right, y'all. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.